Today is the anniversary of the Declaration of Independence of Lebanon and Syria. And it was made by the government of Vichy, of Marshal Pétain. It's unbelievable that they did it. And of course, when they were defeated, the Nazis were defeated, and well, they did not recognize independence, and they had to have lots of problems to get real independence. Whatever. This is only a detail I'm talking about. The tradition in France, if you talk about the human rights, everything, there was a great, wonderful, great French Revolution, and afterwards it's all a mess. So I am here illegally from the beginning. And anyway, I have received last Thursday the lady in charge of my affairs. I never see her. She called me and I went to see her. Something to do with the transfer to Venezuela. Transfer to Venezuela. This happened, I think, once or twice before, you know. It means transfer to Venezuelan prison. Anyway, I signed what has to be done, and I think the arrest of my brother Vladimir, and I gave the phone numbers, and that's it. It's only formality. But the fact that the new is a good man, a lawyer, he was my lawyer for 1 day in 1995, and he was so excited at the time, he wanted to defend me. When I explained to him my situation, he was horrified, really horrified. He knew he could do nothing. It was all above him, and then he was decent enough not to continue defending me. Only for 1 day he was my lawyer, and then he left. Anyway, I've been in contact with him via my lawyers, legally contact with him, and I'm waiting, but I'm not optimistic. The Yankees want to keep me here until I become their agent. I will never become anybody's agent. Never. I've never been, and it will never be. Whatever. I still hold on. I'm 71 years old. And I come from a country, the richest country in the world, used to be when I was born. And now they are in a difficult situation. In spite of this, there are less contaminated people by the pandemic coronavirus than anywhere in the American continent. Only a few islands have less, smaller in the Caribbean have less contaminated than Venezuela. But even Martinique is a terrible, it's a disaster. And even in Guyana, Venezuela has less. And they are trying to do things with vaccines from Russia. They are trying this. Let's hope everything will be all right. The Venezuelan government and the Venezuelan opposition, they are going to have normal elections. They tried, I said this before, I have to repeat it. There was two so-called election, they tried the new machines they got. They sabotaged the machines, some of them, they burned them, they had to buy new machines. This is the most perfect, you can make no cheating. Venezuela is a country where you have the most exemplary, honest election system in the whole world. In the whole world. Well, they try not to allow this. Even the opposition supports the government elections. The true opposition, you know, Christian, social Christians and social democrats that are historically they were the main parties in the country. Now they are not so important, but still they are Venezuelans. They are not enemy agents, and they supporting the elections, and we will have elections very soon. By the end of the year, let's hope that President Maduro will win the elections. Probably he will win the elections. And the opposition will get more more votes than time before, and that there will be more deputies anyway. And some of them are not with the government, but they are not counter-revolutionary like the communists and other organizations. They will have elected people. They are all solidary with me. It's very good, solidarious, excellent. And I guess even here the embassy will be able to get some means, and the ambassador of Venezuela, he was born in Paris, so he's a French citizen. They cannot expect him from France because he's a French citizen. And, it is a very complicated situation. I told him not to come. He wanted to come to bring me something, but I said a printing machine for the computer. I said no, it's not the moment, and I hope by the end of the year, within 1 month, that he will be able to come. I will be able to tell him to come, and I will have a visit as well. Today I had a visit from a former professor of the University of Havana and professor of the University of Paris at the same time. And she left because she was working politically with Dieudonné and this. And she writes books and she makes films, serious questions, documentaries. And she doesn't do anything illegal. She doesn't have any vices. She's a very nice lady. She's 70 years old now. Doesn't look like her, but she's 70 years old. And it's good that she can come to see me. At least to have somebody of high intellectual level and a real supporter. In fact, she's responsible for the committee of support for me. And they try to do these things, everything, including pretend that she was a thief, that she was a dishonest woman and this. Some people who are working for the police, they were trying to make this situation. Anyway, she's solidary with me now and then, send me a little bit of money. This month she sent me 100 euros, not from me, from somebody else. So the situation is not so good. But I survive, and I count on my Turkish lawyers to be solidarious. Turkish solidarity with me, Turkish people solidarity with me. And this helped me to survive in this terrible situation. Whatever, Venezuela survives, Venezuela is strong, the Venezuelan people are less contaminated in the whole of the continent of the United of America, and the United States is the most contaminated country in the world. Explain to me this. How can you explain something like this? It means you have shit governments, a shit system. Sorry to say this word shit, but this is what they deserve. The people of the United States are hardworking. They are good people, but they are led by a group of people. Some are more right or left, or whatever, that control and they work together with the financial bankers. Half of them Jews, and the other half of them Irish Jews, and half of them are Protestants, and they are exploiting the rest of the world as well. But let's hope with the government of Biden, things will get a bit better, not much but better. Biden is to the right of President Obama. That was not perfect, Obama, but it was okay compared to the one we have now. And who's finishing up till now he has not accepted his defeat. He doesn't recognize the victory of Biden. Mr. Trump, Mr. Trumpet, whatever. He always married prostitute women, pretty women, not from origins. And he lost Palestine. Anyway, we will liberate Palestine. I hope I will be alive to celebrate the liberation of Palestine. And we will celebrate in Turkey, in Venezuela. I will repeat something I said many times before. Venezuela is the only country in the world that recognized Israel in 1948 or 47, and then he repeated the recognition, did not recognize Israel anymore. It's not that they broke the diplomatic relation, they did it a long time ago, but the recognition, they don't recognize the state of Israel. It's the only country in the world who has done this. And I am proud of our martyr president, Hugo Chavez. I'm proud of my people. And we did not forget, my people are not, with Catholic tradition, they are not really anti-Semitic, Jews were protected when they were hiding in the Second World War. They accepted the Jews to come, no problem. I met some of them, and they sold themselves and to make business or whatever. The children went to school. I was studying with one of them, and I had to protect him from the others who wanted to hit him because he was a Jew. Anyway, it's all stories, but I said something. I trust the government of Turkey to correct any possible mistakes and to bring all the peoples of Turkey, the Turks, the Kurds, and the others together, and that Turkey will be fully independent out of NATO and recognize the unfair borders of the Republic of Turkey imposed after the First World War. Whatever, we don't know what will happen, but I am not pessimistic. I think in Turkey, the opposition, if President Erdogan takes good decisions, the national opposition, good people, will still remain in the opposition, but we will support the existence of the regime and make it stronger and independent, and Venezuela will become eventually free from foreign intervention. Allahu Akbar.